Hey everyone, Pressito here. In today's video I'm going to be talking about Fjord Foundry, and if you guys haven't heard about them then you definitely should, because there's plenty of gains to be made with their platform. Basically it's an auction platform through the form of LBPs, and they've had some really insane launches recently and in the past that have just been insane, that if you were part of them you'd make really life-changing gains. So in my opinion, it's actually the top public launch platform at the moment, and I definitely recommend you guys to be involved with it and stay up to date with their latest launches and do your due diligence. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you what you should note when taking part in their LBPs. For example, the pool weights, the tokenomics of the projects, doing the minimum due diligence that you should before buying, because you can also get wrecked with the way their pool weights work. The price goes down. So if you buy too early, you can really get wrecked. So you have to really be careful with how you invest, how you do your due diligence, and so on. So let's have a look at their platform and how it all works. So as you can see, as their description shows, connecting innovative projects and engaged backers through a community-focused platform, offering fair and transparent LBPs and token sale events. So if you click here on view LBPs, it'll take you to all the current ones that are live at the moment. And keep in mind, this isn't actually all of them, it's their curated ones, which I do recommend you guys to only look at the curated ones. If you take off curated, then you'll see a whole lot of spam that's not worth seeing. So definitely keep that on, because these are projects vetted by Fjord themselves. So here you'll see all the projects. You can see basic information like funds raised, liquidity, how much is sold, who's it curated by, a brief description. So let's look at some of the recent ones and see how they worked and when would have been a good time to get in. So for example, Vector. So this one I'm sure you've heard of. There's rumors that it's from the Ohm team, which obviously is really hyped. But basically they launched and now the price is sitting at around $50, and you can see the Fjord ended at around $16. So obviously it's done really well, especially if you bought here at $8, you'd be up a nice amount. So what's important to note, the first thing you should be looking at to understand, besides all the team information and due diligence that you should do, which I'll show you shortly on another project, first thing you should do is check their token weightings, vesting, and balances. So the vesting, you just need to quickly check and see no token vesting. Okay, so that means you get all the tokens unlocked. Some projects have some vesting, so that's something you just need to take note of. But let's say it's got 100% TGE, then you need to check the token weightings. So this is how the price adjusts and what it starts off with and how it ends. So basically most pools will start with 99% of their tokens available. In this case, 500,000 Vector tokens available for sale, and they provide, in this case, wrapped Ethereum, sometimes it's USDC, as liquidity, which they provided 40. And their end weight for them is going to be 5% of their tokens and 95% wrapped Ethereum. So if none are sold, then the price will just keep dipping until that ratio. And if they are sold, as you can see here, once the demand starts, then the price will start climbing. So that's why you should never, and really note this, you should really never buy the first candle, because even as per guidelines from Fjord, it's recommended that the starting price is much higher than the actual market value. And in this case, you can see the price started off very high. Then you just need to wait a bit and wait until you deem it's a good entry. In which case for Vector, it was here around $8.5 to $10. And if you got that entry, it would have been really good for you. So that's how the weighing works. And now I'm going to be showing you a project that's coming up on Fjord and how their project looks in terms of their price as it's live at the moment and my due diligence on it, including looking at their tokenomics, which is also very important. So in this case, you can see the project is B5. You can see currently the price is 52 cents. You can see it started at almost $3. So obviously, as I said, never want to buy that starting candle. You can see the volume is quite significant, almost $1 million. Liquidity is 1.2 million. They've raised 650,000. Current circulating market cap's around 1 million, with fully diluted of around 5 million. And you can see their tokens released and available and still live for another day. You can see the price has been quite stable, so it's potentially a good entry for this, all things considered. But obviously you want to know, was there pre-sale, how much did they raise, and at what price, and what's the unlock? Because obviously if you know they had a pre-sale at 10 cents or 5 cents and they up 10x at this price and they don't have a lock, maybe it's not a good idea to buy, because then it's going to be unlocked and you're going to get wrecked when it's trading on the open market. So those are all things you need to look into before buying as well. And you can most of the time find all that information you need here in the information section of the project. In this case, you can see here that they have tokenomics written here. So that's obviously the most important thing to check besides doing general due diligence on whether you're bullish on the project. So you see here under tokenomics that the public sale is 20% of the total tokens with no vesting, but you can see they did have a private sale, seed sale here with no vesting as well. So obviously that raises a flag that you need to check what the price was that they got, because they have no vesting. So you need to see what price and if it's fair compared to what the current price is. You can see a lot less is sold, so it's not such a huge amount that's going to be released, so that's obviously good. And you can see the team advisors all have that cliff where you don't need to worry about that because they won't have any tokens on circulating. So what do you need to do? You need to go into the Discord or Telegram chat of BFi and ask them what the price is, because they don't specify it here. So I did go into their Discord and I just searched seed price, because I'm sure someone has asked that before. And you can see here the team answers saying the seed price was $0.234 fully unlocked, and the current price, as we showed here, is 51 cents. So it's only about 2x the seed price, which could be quite fair and reasonable considering the circulating market cap already is quite small. So if you're bullish on the project and you look into it, then this could be a good entry, for example. So that's how you would do your due diligence on Fjord projects that are launching. So now let's go to the Fjord Foundry docs and go a bit more in depth at how everything works, so you can be 100% clued up with everything before investing. So as you can see here, they say it's a bit like Dutch auctions, but with a twist. So basically with the Dutch auction, it's the same in the sense that the price starts high and goes low over time, except with LBPs, you can buy at any time, which will affect the price. And if you buy more, the price will go up. So that is the difference. Then if we scroll down, you can see here, they explain a bit more in depth regarding the weights in relation to LBPs. So if you start with the 99/1 ratio, means 99% of the pool is your tokens, like I showed you, and 1% is the other asset, which can be a stable coin or wrapped Ethereum. And as it progresses, it shifts, moving to a 1:99 ratio, obviously depending on what you set the final weight as. So it says here the recommended start and end weights. They recommend starting 99.1 with mostly of your token for sale. They suggest here the ending weight 40.60, but a lot of the projects do 10.90 or 1.90 just to release all the tokens and sell all the tokens. So it just depends on the project and how they want the token distribution to be and so on. So if you start at 99.1 and end at 10.90, then you're selling about 90% of your tokens. And same if you end at 2080, then you're selling 80% of the tokens and so on. So some example of the recent LBPs, OLAS, I'm sure you guys have heard of, performed insanely well, one of the best performing one. If you got into that and how, then you made. But you can see their starting weight was 99.1 and their end weight was 2/98, and they sold 99% of the tokens. They put 50k initial liquidity and they raised 550,000 approximately. And then you can see some examples here of some other projects which you can pause and have a look at if you're interested. So Fjord themselves takes a flat 3% fee from the collateral token balance. So if for example, in this case, Altitude, they raise 430,000, then they'll take 3% of that. And they also take a 2% swap fee from participants who buy into the pool. So you can see with the huge volumes and the huge amounts raised in recent ones, sort of really done well, which is obviously very good and definitely worth keeping an eye on them for future in case they launch anything of their own. So definitely important to stay tuned for that. So another thing to mention, like I said earlier, what should be the starting price for my LBP? As they say here, the strategy is to make it a lot higher. So for example, if you think the token's fair value is $1, then you should start at $5. So that helps project raise more funds, and the price will obviously dip and then it will eventually reach the fair value, but it's up to the market to determine what the fair value is anyways. And then obviously keep note that curated pools are what you want to look at, not the unvetted projects. You can see the curated projects have undergone a review process according to the standards of Fjord Foundry. So that's obviously very important. And if you just want to avoid the bad projects, just stick to the curated ones. And then lastly, when you do buy into an LBP, you need to remember you will have a claim option here. So if I bought Vector, then over here it would pop up to claim your tokens. Obviously remember to do that, otherwise it's not going to just be automatically sent to your wallet. You need to claim them here on Fjord, and then you'll get your tokens, which you can then trade on dexes. So that wraps up my video on Fjord Foundry. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Hopefully it'll help some of you guys make some pro gains on Fjord. Definitely think it's worthwhile to look into them and stay up to date with their latest sale, do due diligence on them, and figure out which one is worth finding an entry on. So thank you very much for watching. Make sure to follow my socials. Make sure to follow Fjord as well to stay up to date.